There are just things you don't know exist legally, both problems and solutions. And throughout the book, you're pointing to all these things that I didn't know existed. I didn't know it.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I think, for those of us who feel like we're just screwed, right? Because there's gerrymandering and the court's about to, gut Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and it sucks. And the independent state legislature theory, have Eric on to explain it. It's a nightmare. All this stuff is really bad. But you know what Robbie Kaplan does in Charlottesville? She and Karen Dunn dig up the KKK Act, right? Yeah. They dig up a piece of legislation that basically says you cannot, organize to commit racial violence. And it's not been used since, the Klan was originally the Klan. It's used a little bit in the 60s. There are instrumentalities here. I think that's what you're saying, right? That every single one of these people manages to find, even though it's sometimes a struggle, they manage to find a hook and they win, right? Robbie, it takes 4 years, but Robbie Kaplan and Karen Dunn get a $26 million judgment a year ago against the Nazis and white supremacists in Charlottesville. And by the way, the Klan Act is now being used, to prosecute January 6th insurrectionists. So I think that what you're saying is so important. There is a way in which we keep saying, women are like out there and they're protesting. No, they're doing so much more. They're using finely honed, brilliant legal minds to change systems. And it's not, again, I don't want to disparage women protesting. I want to say the badass woman who went around in Michigan and got signatures for a ballot initiative, that's not just, women's voices. That's women's power. And I think that, when you hear, and this does make me crazy after Dobbs, you will occasionally hear, our good male allies saying, well, this will really goose the vote in November because women are going to be pissed. Like, we're actually not transactional humans, right? Like, we're not there to goose your vote. We're there to organize and to bring you along and to support you as you support us. And so I think one of the things that you're holding on to is a thing that I really wanted to put at the very center of the book, which is there are very smart people working on gerrymandering reform. There are brilliant people working on the Electoral College and the Electoral Count Act. There are brilliant people working on massive structural court reform. And so to say, we have to invent, God, I wish there was some mechanism to fix this. There are. We have to be a part of that. And that's not, I think, a gendered thing. I don't think it's a race thing. I think that brilliant people are trying to do structural democracy reform. They're everywhere. And those are the people we have to find. And those are the people we have to lift up, because it's just not good enough to say women are pissed.